Hi, this is Mike Madura and you're listening to the ZiFM Sport Podcast.
The hottest station in the nation. ZiFM Stereo.
It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they'd come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
Pure platinum play, or is it a poor platinum play? Whichever way it is, Horoya condemned the Zimbabwe champions to their third defeat on the spin and put paid to their faint hopes of qualifying to the knockout stage of the CAF Champions League. In our international sports news segment, we'll give you an update of the first test between the Proteas and Sri Lanka. And then in the beautiful game, we'll focus on the UEFA Champions League, where Manchester United were given a reality check by PSG on a night former Red Devil Angel Di Maria proved the angel of death at Old Trafford.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
It is a Wednesday, the 13th of February, one day before Valentine's Day. And we can also tell you that it's the day that ZiFA board member Chamuchi Wanza is celebrating his birthday. We won't tell you how old he is, but we'll say happy birthday, Chamela.
Congratulations and many happy returns from ZiFM Sport, and thanks for the tickets. We're giving them away a bit later on.
Absolutely. And so we want you to answer a very simple question, because we're trying to get these tickets in your hands and trying to get you to the National Sports Stadium. Remember, you have to be there before 1:30, otherwise they'll slam the gates shut on you. Okay, the simple question that we are asking is, can you name the captain of the Zimbabwe national football team? Can you name the captain of the Zimbabwe national football team? And of course, that is the Warriors. Send your answer, your response on 0731 168 045. That's 0731 168 045. Or you can simply choose Facebook as well as Twitter. Follow and interact with @ZiFM Sport. And don't forget that that WhatsApp number is the same number that you need to send your hashtags through. Proceeds Trivia, so that you are in the running to be one of the lucky callers that we get to call back straight after our play of the day. Well, it's local football that gets us on the road. FC Platinum coach Nomin Mapeza has rued the mistakes that led to goals during the CAF Champions League Group B encounter against Horoya in Guinea last night. Goals from Oshensi Mandela as well as Yakubu Hudu crushed faint hopes FC Platinum might have entertained of qualifying to the knockout stage. FC Platinum needed a win to stay alive in the competition, but yesterday's defeat means their journey will end at the conclusion of the group stage. Once again, the Zimbabwe champions flattered to deceive as they knocked the ball around with panache, but terribly fell short in the attacking third. And it's a repeat of the same story, isn't it, Alois? That great build-up play, great passing, but no output at the end.
Yeah, we have been talking about it. No goals, no striker to tag them in. You know, when you look at the lineup, you actually look at them and like, who is going to score goals here? You actually wonder. Like you said yesterday, you rightfully said, they are struggling to score goals here against weaker opponents. Now we go to a bigger stage, stronger opponents. What do we expect? I think it's a lesson. For me, I've always said it, that it's a lesson for them. I'm actually looking for the next edition. I want to see in between what are they going to do in terms of their squad.
In terms of rectifying, beefing up their squad and trying to get some additional players, Barry. And, people have been comparing FC Platinum to, of course, sides that have done well in this particular competition. And there's no side that's done better than Dynamos in 1998 under the tutelage of Sunday Mofu Chidzambwa, then Sunday Marimo. They got to the final final of the CAF Champions League. But if you take a look at that team, Barry, it had goals in it. You know, you had Sandras Kumwenda and Makwinjiso Mapiri up front. They were ably supported by the likes of Beki Mulochwa, who could chip in with goals from midfield and out wide. So it was a team that had goals in it. When you take a look at this FC Platinum side, it's a team that you're thinking, you know, hang on, like Alo said, if you're struggling to score against Triangle United, then you're probably going to struggle to score against the best on the continent.
Yeah, like we said last time, that I think the fact that they won the championship, I think, flattered to deceive, and we were all deceived and hoodwinked. But when we then look back, and hindsight is a perfect science, we see the 1-0 victories that they had, courtesy of Rodwell Chinyengetere, a midfielder who was chipping in with goals, important goals that got them the championship, but their strikers, their mainline strikers, were not delivering the goods for them. So it's an area that they certainly need to address, because you can't fault them in football has 3 phases. There's build-up play, there's consolidation, and then there's incision. In the build-up and consolidation phases, they're fantastic. Incision phase, there's nothing there. There's nothing. They're not getting in front of goals. They're not getting their strikers in front of the goalkeeper.
And of course, one of football's worst kept secrets is that goals win you matches.
Yes.
And when you don't score like what FC Platinum have done in more than 6 hours of Group B action, you're hardly ever going to progress to the next stage of the competition. And pause, I've got to ask you this. FC Platinum's struggles, are they a general reflection on the state of football in Zimbabwe, which is something that you briefly touched on yesterday's edition when we were talking about FC Platinum? But does that show us exactly where Zimbabwe's football is in comparison with the rest of Africa, and notably the better leagues on the continent?
100%, Mike. I think looking at yesterday's game and just seeing how it all unfolded, once again, we as a footballing country, our clubs, our country, we cannot find the back of the net. And as you say, goals win you matches. And I don't know how we deal with this problem, because it's a massive problem. And clubs here need to be finding out-and-out strikers. I mean, we've talked about this until we blew in the face going back. How many Premier League goals does our leading goal scorer score compared to any other league in the world, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in Europe? I mean, we're just nowhere near that target. And why? Why is that, Bunj?
I was also, before you come in, Bunj, added to the question that Paz has asked you, you're probably the perfect person to answer this, because you go back over the last 20-25 years, Alois. We can reel off some really good goal scorers that were produced locally, using local systems, using local coaches, groomed in local conditions. Starting off with that fella, what is his name again? Alois Bunjira. He was a decent goal scorer, wasn't he? Stuart Murisa, Zenzo Moyo, Vitalis Takawira, Tauya Murewa, Agent Sao, Maronga Debomba Nyangela,
I mean, the names just come back.
The names come back, but these are from a yesteryear generation. What has happened over the last 10 years, Alois? Why are we failing to produce a goal scorer, even one? Munyika Yese, just one. I mean, the last guy who scored like a decent amount of goals was Evans Chikwaikwai, and that was Njube Sundowns. I think he scored 20 plus, but he was just a fox in the box. But we haven't really produced that great striker when we used to have so many of them. I mean, in your team, Alois, the goals came from yourself. They came from Stuart Murisa. There was Morgan Nkatazo. Joe Mugabe chipped in from midfield. There were guys that used to score. Even Zenzo Moyo was supported by Tabani Masawi, Charles Chulufia. There were guys who were chipping in goals from different areas of the field of play. Even the lesser teams, Edvarana Usman Huchimisi at Arcadia and Shepard Muradziko scoring from midfield. What's happening to our football?
We know. We have been talking about it. Number one is the death of junior development structures. They are dead. Like right now, we are in, I wanted to say intensive care unit. We are not even there. We are dead.
They're cleaning us up for the funeral.
Yeah. That's the number one area, Mike. Then we have a situation whereby we have a generation of coaches that have been coming through that are so concerned with tactics, so tactical. And number one problem is let's not lose. So you find yourself that they concentrate more on team shape than trying to build exciting players that go forward. It's not just the death of the striker, the goal scorer. It's also the death of the creative player. He is dead. There's nothing. When have you seen
there
a player?
Clear-cut opportunities
We
that
saw
are being created.
Di Maria yesterday. When was the last time you saw a playmaker, someone who can weave the Den from camp of? When was the last time you see one player taking on two defenders at top speed
and going back to Johannes Ngozo.
Then laying the ball for his striker to make a tap in? When was the last time you saw that? When was the last time you got up off your seat to celebrate a great move by a striker or a great move by a dribbler? When was the last time? We don't. So this is too tactical. Stay here, stay there. Now the focus is now listening to the coach. What must I do now?
What must I do? Let's maintain. So they become like robots on the field of play. Can I ask you this then, Barry? When you take a look at that situation, which has been brought about by Alois, where there's an overemphasis on tactics and team shape and how the team is going to perform, is it because we've got a problem where we've got the coach, the head coach, and we don't have him supported by the coaches that we see in professional setups in Europe, where, for example, your Manchester United will have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the manager of the team, okay? With his emphasis being predominantly on team tactics and how to approach the game and team selection. But then during the week, they're working with coaches, guys who are helping them hone their skills, whether as a defender, as a midfielder, as an attacker, as a goalkeeper, as a winger, and then helping them improve in these little situations, and of course helping them improve technically rather than just tactically.
Absolutely, Mike. That's the major part of it. I would certainly ascribe 90% of that to exactly what you're pointing out, that we don't have that coaching a setup that they do in Europe. But I'll also add to that the fact that we don't have coaches who want to excite, who want to entertain. Football teams have a responsibility to entertain. Pep Guardiola understands it, and he entertains and also wins football matches. You've got to entertain.
And the other thing, Mike, the players themselves, they lack passion. Some of these things you don't get coached on the field of play. You actually train. You know you're a goal scorer. There are times when you just need to hit perfect one touch shot. They are not doing it. We see some chances as well that get missed. You actually say, if that was Aguero, if that was Ronaldo, if that was Messi, it's a goal. So we don't have that kind of training. The players themselves, they don't want. But like the point that Barry came up with, I was here, I spoke to Chigenin. Chigenin are trying to do it. That professional department of coaches. I was laughing at Prince Maturi. He was saying our left back coach. I was like, wow.
There we go.
So someone who's working with
the fullbacks.
So well done to Chigenin. They're actually trying to do that.
Get in touch with us on 0731 168 045. 3 reasons why you need to do so. The first one, of course, is to let us know your thoughts, your views on FC Platinum's challenge in the CAF Champions League, as well as some of the issues that we're discussing here in the studio. The second reason is you need to send in your ProFeeds hashtags, ProFeeds Trivia, so that you're in with the chance of being in our daily competition. The third reason is to answer the very simple question, who is the captain of Zimbabwe's Warriors? You could win yourself 2 tickets to watch Zimbabwe taking on Congo Brazzaville in their final AFCON qualifier at the National Sports Stadium next month.
Zimbabwe's finest three. ZiFM Stereo.
Your local sports news roundup. Let's wrap it up with cricket, athletics, and the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. Starting with cricket, where Zimbabwe Cricket Acting Managing Director Givmo Makoni says the country is ready to host the Africa Regional Qualifier for next year's International Cricket Council Women's T20 World Cup. The qualifier will be played across 3 venues in Harare from the 5th to the 13th of May after the organizers decided to spread the games to Harare Sports Club, Old Trafford, and Takashinga Sports Club in Highfields. Kenya, Mozambique, Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Uganda and Zimbabwe will face off for the 2 tickets to the global qualifier, which is the ultimate eliminator for the prestigious ICC Women's T20 World Cup set for Australia next year. In athletics news, the Wulaya Athletics Board, the BAB, is looking forward to hosting the first leg of the JM Busha 54 Triangular Series track and field athletics competition at the White City Stadium on Saturday. BAB Chairman Manuel Mpofu said for the first time gold, silver and bronze medalists are entitled to prize money after businessman Joseph Makamba Busha's company poured in $10,000. The competition will be used as part of the selection of a national team to represent the country in a continental meet in due course. And finally, in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League, Harare City assistant coach Mark Mate says the Sunshine Boys are investing most of their resources towards improving their strike force, which we were discussing earlier, which they believe was their major undoing last season. Mate is taking charge of the pre-season training at Heritage School this week as the Premiership Football Club's coach Mark Harrison is out of the country. Mate confirmed that Harrison will be back to resume the pre-season training on Sunday.
In the Far East, there are many languages spoken, from the enchanting elephants in Thailand to the sizzling street food in Jakarta. The waves lapping on the shores of Bali and Phuket. Or a greeting from a new friend.
Ni hao.
Fly Emirates to 22 destinations across the Far East and pick up some new languages on your next holiday. Visit emirates.com. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
This is your boy, Master KG. Wanitamus, I'll be coming to Zimbabwe on the 15th of February for the first time ever performing in Zimbabwe. And I'll be with my brothers from Zimbabwe, DJ Stave, and many more.
This Valentine's weekend, Maestro mixes food, people, music, and a whole lot of love. 14 February is an Urbane Thursday with a difference, with special South African guest artist, Sun L musician, resident DJs Reverb 7 and Click, and C-Skills on the decks. 30 Bond gets you in. 15 February, Retalks with Skeleton Move Sensation, Master KG, alongside DJs Stavo and Rouse, supported by House of Killian. 30 Bond gets you in, 50 VIP, 60 VVIP. All tickets are advanced and available now at www.clickandpay.africa. That's www.click.pay.africa. Maestro. Food, people, music.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Right, we start with cricket and the first test between South Africa and Sri Lanka. Put into bat by Sri Lanka this morning, South Africa struggled through to tea in bowler-friendly conditions at Kingsmead. Vishwa Fernando and Kusin Rajata, who before this game had played a combined 7 tests, had a hand in 6 of the 7 wickets to fall as South Africa reached 181 for 7. South Africa were grateful for a 72-run stand between Temba Bavuma and Faf du Plessis, as well as a counter-attacking runnable 47 partnership between Quinton de Kock and Keshav Maharaj that spared further blushes. Right, we can tell you what's happened there. It is stumps on day 1, and South Africa will be certainly disappointed with what is on the scoreboard. They have been bowled out for 235 in reply. Sri Lanka at stumps were 49 for 1. Dale Steyn getting that wicket of Tiramani for without scoring. In fact, he faced 15 balls. He was there for 27 minutes. He was caught behind by Quinton de Kock off the bowling of Steyn. But earlier, South Africa bowled out for 235. 80 from Quinton de Kock. He was the top scorer. 47 from Bavuma. But the rest of the team, Maharaj with 29 off 35 balls. South Africa will be extremely disappointed with that total, having had such a good series thus far before going into this test series with Sri Lanka. So that is the latest there from Kingsmead in Durban. Sri Lanka 49 for 1.
Let's go to the third test between the West Indies and England. We can tell you that England ended a disappointing test series with the consolation of a comprehensive victory over the Windies on the 4th day of the third test, which was of course the final one in St. Lucia. Thrashed in the first 2 matches of the series to surrender the Wisden Trophy after 10 years in English possession, the Tourists gained a measure of consolation in completing a 232-run victory with a day to spare. Set an improbable target of 485 after Joe Root declared his side's second innings at 361 for the loss of 5 wickets following his dismissal for 122. The home team was eventually dismissed for 252 deep into the final session when Ben Stokes had Kemo Paul caught and bowled.
Let's go to the first one-day international between New Zealand and Bangladesh, and Martin Guptill returned to form with an unbeaten century as New Zealand powered to an 8-wicket win over Bangladesh in the first one-day international in Napier. Bangladesh set New Zealand a modest run chase of 233 after suffering an early collapse, and the Black Caps overhauled it in 44.3 overs, finishing at 233 for 2. It is Bangladesh's 5th tour to New Zealand, and they are yet to win a match in any format, with their next chance coming in the second one-day international in Christchurch on Saturday.
I'm JC Krill, Springbok and Blue Bulls backline player. You are listening to ZiFM Sports.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We touch off in England, where Mercedes have revealed the new car, the W10, ahead of the F1 2019 season as they bid to maintain their long reign as the sport's dominant power. Undefeated in a title fight since the start of F1's current turbo hybrid era, Mercedes start the new year with one aim, becoming the first team in F1 history to win 6 consecutive Drivers' and Constructors' Championship doubles. The W10 was given an immediate on-track debut, with Bottas behind the wheel of the new Silver Arrows during a shakedown run at Silverstone. To Wales, where 8th man Tulupi Faletau will miss the remainder of this year's Six Nations as he requires further surgery on his broken arm. The Wales forward suffered the break while playing for Bath against Wasps on the 12th of January, a game which marks his return from another broken arm sustained in October. Faletau was expected to return in time for Wales's final round fixture against Ireland on the 16th of March, but Bath say he has been ruled out for an indefinite period following further expert opinion. To America, where the Boston Celtics small forward Gordon Hayward scored 26 points, including a go-ahead 3-pointer with 1 minute 50 seconds remaining as the Celtics beat the Philadelphia 76ers 112 to 109. Al Horford had 23 and Jason Tatum scored 20 and grabbed 10 rebounds to help the Celtics continue their dominance over the Sixers. Playing without all-star point guard Kyrie Irving, who sprained his right knee on Saturday night, the Celtics beat the Sixers for the 3rd straight meeting this season.
The Daily Sports Trivia question is brought to you by Proteas. Proteas, your feed and farm professionals.
It's that time again, and all you need to do to participate is every single time that we are on air, you send a WhatsApp message with the hashtag ProFeedsTrivia, and you might be the one lucky listener we call back. You'll field 2 questions, and if you get both correct, you'll be our daily winner and in with a chance of winning our fabulous first prize of 2019, a Capri Double Door 290-litre fridge. Our first draw will take place on Friday, the 22nd of February. It will be coming straight off a holiday on the 21st of February, and so on the 22nd will be a good way to celebrate the 21st of February holiday.
Well, a good name to be reaching out to on a Wednesday evening is the delightfully named Mike out in Bulawayo.
Oh my days.
Mike, how are you doing?
How are you, Mike?
Nice.
Hi, Mike. How are you, Mike?
Listen, that's a good name, Mike, I tell you. Don't let anyone tell you anything different.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike is a good name. How's Kontutu?
It's raining this side.
It's
Hey,
raining.
brilliant.
That's good. Well, are you ready for your 2 questions? But before we get there, are you a Highlanders fan, or maybe you are now with Bulawayo Chiefs?
I'm a Dynamo supporter.
Dynamo supporter.
Well
oh
done,
my
Mike.
God. Well done.
Well done, Mike.
You at least have Barry Menandi for company.
And you're phoning from a secret location, aren't you?
I'm an Manchester United supporter.
There, Bunj will be happy about that one. Manchester United supporter. Yeah. So Dimbare and Manchester are your teams. Do you follow La Liga much?
Yes, I love Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Oh, good man.
Tiki-taka. So you do redeem yourself.
Top
okay,
man.
Are you ready for your 2 questions?
Yes.
Okay, the first one, of course, is from the local scene. If you've been listening to the show today and paying attention, you will know the answers to these very simple questions. Question 1, which Castle Lager Premier Soccer League team is nicknamed the Sunshine Boys? Which Castle Lager Premier Soccer League team is nicknamed the Sunshine Boys?
Ararasi.
Oh, well done. And your second question, which Formula 1 team is known affectionately as the Silver Arrows? Which Formula 1 team is known affectionately as the Silver Arrows?
Mercedes.
Oh, brilliant.
You know sport, buddy.
Nesta rako iri ka Mike ka zvanga singaiti kuti utadze.
Can I say something, guys?
Yes, please go ahead.
Based on Mike, you have the Zimbabwean version of Jim Beglin and Peter Drew.
Thanks very much, Mike. You'll be in, of course, with a chance next Friday when the draw for that 290-litre Capri double door fridge is done. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
The Daily Sports Trivia question was brought to you by Proteas. Proteas, the performance feed.
To all you Twitter heads, connect with ZiFM Stereo on twitter.com/ZiFM Stereo /ZiFM Stereo.
Fan Zone. Get in touch with the team and have your say your way.
Operator.
WhatsApp number 0731-168-045. That's 0731-168-045. Twitter and Facebook. Follow and interact with @ZFM Sport. We've just given someone an opportunity to be in with a chance of winning a double door 290-litre fridge, a Capri number that is, courtesy of Proteas. And we're about to give away 10 tickets to watch the Warriors taking on Congo Brazzaville at the Giant National Sports Stadium, as Mukoma Admire Taderera would call it. And of course, that match is on next month. These tickets courtesy of ZIFA board member Chamuchi Wanza, who is celebrating his birthday today. So once again, it's a happy birthday to Chamela Chamuchi Wanza. Barry, do we have any winners? Because the question we asked was very simple. Name the captain, the skipper of the Zimbabwe national football team, the Warriors.
We do indeed. We have a few winners, but our producer Sean is just wrapping up the selection. So in a couple of seconds, we'll be able to announce who our winners are of those tickets. And thanks for participating. They've come in droves, Mike. They've absolutely come in droves.
Yeah, they've come in droves, and of course, everyone eager to go and watch that match. And Alois, it looks like the interest around that final AFCON qualifier is actually very high, and we could end up with a better crowd than we have anticipated at the National Sports Stadium.
Yeah, I think, judging from the excitement on social media or even in town where you're going around and all that, you can actually tell that people are actually anticipating this game. And the good thing about it, they announced the charges very early. There's time to actually look for that, $10 if you really want to go. And then the other excitement is about the kit. The kit sponsorship that came in. There are a lot of there are a lot of samples that are going around. People are actually interested. I hope that they are also watching and looking at the comments that people are making from
input to those kids.
The input to those kids. I think they can come up with a kit that people really love and they'll buy. When you love something, you're going to
invest in it. Now, Mark,
that excitement is good.
Mark, I want to find out, are you a traditional sort of guy, or are you one to be taken by new design crazes and new elements, etc.? Are you one who believes, like, for example, that Liverpool wears red, and therefore they should wear red?
Correct.
And shouldn't have white stripes on the red, etc.? Because some of the designs that we've been seeing emerging of the Warriors are not in keeping with tradition. Would you advise Umbro to go the traditional route, or would you advise them to jazz it up and make it funky and exciting?
Okay, I'm a traditionalist, but I don't mind deviating in certain areas, like with Liverpool, as long as the primary color is red. If you want to put a little white stripe somewhere on the sleeve or whatever, I don't have an issue with that. On the Warriors kit, I think the brighter the better, the funkier the better. I just think we need something to lift us.
Something to lift, and of course something that will excite the fans out there for them to part with their hard-earned dollars. Alois, your thoughts on that one? Because we've seen combinations like that are being thrown around of red and of yellow and red. Zimbabwe's never worn yellow and red. That's not our traditional color. We've always combined yellow with green and so forth. So and also the combination. I saw another one of the combination of, I think it was a green jersey, yellow shorts, and red socks. And I was like, but that's Guinea. immediately the first thing that I saw was Guinea, because that's Guinea's home kit, and we don't want to end up looking like Guinea.
Actually, we have, Mike. We have done green and yellow, yellow stripe and red during the Dream Team days. The ENS kit. We have done that one. I think we used that one. If you look up the game against Zambia in Zambia, we actually had a green kit with the yellow stripe and red socks. We have done it, but I actually think traditionally we need to have the uniformity. That kit that we know it's
that
ours.
we identify with.
Yellow. Yes, I prefer the yellow, plain yellow at home, and the yellow or green at home, and then white for away. That's for me. I think those are the kits that I would actually prefer. I don't like that design with the whole flag around the kit. I don't like that.
I don't mind that.
We can have a Zimbabwean flag on the chest, or we can have the Zimbabwean pad on the chest with all the colors. I prefer that one.
Okay, keep your messages coming in on 0731 168 045. Do we have some winners, Mr. Barry Manani?
We do indeed, and the verification process by Sean was very meticulous, but we do have winners. Our first winner is Joseph, who's in Harare. Congratulations, he walks away with two tickets. Simba Masawi in Domboshawa, he walks away with two tickets.
Did you say Domboshawa?
Yes, I did.
Okay, take care on.
You know what? I can't work under these conditions. I can't stand you. I hate you so much.
Okay.
Martin from Bulawayo, congratulations. Did you like Bulawayo?
Yeah, Bulawayo. You gave it a stab.
Okay. So Martin from Bulawayo, congratulations, mate. Dion in Harare, congratulations to you. And then Vengai Tadzimirwa in Lion's Den.
Wow.
Congratulations. Yes, winners from all over the place.
They make the best biltong out in Lion's Den.
Do they?
Yes. If you're ever on your way to Kariba, just stop over in Lion's Den.
Rob a bank on the way.
They makes the best biltong, I can tell you.
Do they?
Worth driving.
Is it beef, though?
Worth driving, Barry, all the way to Lion's Den to get that biltong, I tell you. It's just the problem is that we got fuel problems. So you drive there, you might never come back.
You wouldn't come back. But is it worth it to go all the way for that biltong? Possibly it is. So those are our winners. Vengai, Lion's Den, Dion, Harare, Martin from Bulawayo, Simba Masawi from Domboshawa, and then Joseph from Harare.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport.
The anthem that sounded out at two venues last night. It is the knockout stage of the UEFA Champions League, the premier club competition in world of football. There was a match at Old Trafford and another one at Stadio Olimpico. All in all, 5 goals scored. 2 of them by PSG, none by Manchester United in their match. 2 for Roma, and just the solitary away goal for Porto in their match. Let's go to Old Trafford, where Thomas Tuchel, the German, said it is only half-time in the Champions League last 16 tie, as PSG head coach remained grounded following last night's 2-0 win against Manchester United. PSG outclassed United at Old Trafford as goals from Presnel Kimpembe and Kylian Mbappe condemned the Red Devils to their first loss under caretaker manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and their heaviest home defeat in European competition. The United star Paul Pogba was sent off following a second yellow card in the closing stages. However, PSG boss Tuchel refused to get carried away with the result ahead of the return fixture in Paris on the 6th of March.
Actually, because I know how hardworking we defended today. Like I said, in the crosses from the right side, Pogba running in, Rashford always in the box, all these crosses, change of sides, dribblings, Martial, runs from Rashford, a lot of long balls. It's a lot of work to do in the last 4, and the 4 up front were very, very close. So it was amazing to see. And gave us, of course, a lot of confidence, and gives us still a lot of confidence. I think that we grew again in this match. We did the next step to defend like this here, and like you said, not allow big chances, to allow only a few shots outside the box, and then it's a big achievement for us, and of course has to be repeated.
Z.
And now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who had won 10 of his 11 games in charge before this clash, admitted his team were a step below the French champions.
Today we weren't at the level, so of course this is a level up from what we have played against with the games we've had. We've had a great run. We came into this game in a great frame of mind, great form. But of course it was a big step up. They have quality from the keeper until the striker, and there is a reason behind them being one of the favourites for the Champions League. But then again, I think that's the level that we need to aim for at this club.
Now PSG were without star pair of Neymar as well as Edinson Cavani for the trip to Manchester, but PSG were the superior side as 2 goals within 7 second-half minutes, inspired by Argentine winger Angel Di Maria, put the French champions in the box seat. Mark, you've got to say it was a reality check for Manchester United last night.
Oh yeah, it all came tumbling down, didn't it? The cards came tumbling down. I mean, it had to happen, and totally outplayed by PSG last night in all departments. And look, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got some work to do. I think he might have got it right in the Premier League, but when you're taking on the likes of PSG, you know what, you've got to be spot on the day. And a team that went in without Edinson Cavani, went in without Neymar. I mean, imagine if those 2 players had been there. Final score could have been 5 or 6.
It could have been worse. And Alois, you take a look at this performance by Manchester United. Were we perhaps expecting a bit too much for Manchester United to go toe-to-toe with one of the premier teams in Europe?
Yeah, I think maybe we were flattered by the good run in the
domestic form
in the EPL, and we thought that was just going to carry the day. But we know that the team has not really been good. This is the cream de la creme of European football, and we have a PSG side that has got talented players, a team that is actually capable of winning this Champions League. When you look at their team sheet, you actually see that this is cream. They are just disadvantaged because they are playing in a weaker league, if you ask me. But they are a team that can actually compete in EPL. They can compete in Spanish La Liga. They are a good team. So for Manchester United to actually believe that we could actually go out there and beat PSG, I think it was asking for too much. I think he still has work to do, like Mark said. He needs to reality check. You can actually say so. The team still needs to improve, and I don't see the team coming back even in Paris. I think this is time up.
Angel Di Maria, of course, was one of the players that a lot of people were talking about, involved in a very unsavory incident with Ashley Young, where he went crashing into the perimeter wall at Old Trafford, and then, of course, he then set up both goals. So he was one of the outstanding performers. We had to ask questions right here on the show around Kylian Mbappe, Barry, whether he would be able to rise to the occasion, and rise to the occasion he did.
He certainly did, and in truth, Kylian Mbappe didn't need much of the football. He wasn't involved in a lot of play, and he doesn't need to be fair, because Kylian Mbappe is strongest. His strength is getting behind defenses and those through passes. So I think the midfield, they bossed that midfield, and that's where Manchester United lost the game. If you look at the competition between Herrera, Pogba, Matic versus what Marquinhos and Verratti, just the 2 of those, the way they bossed that midfield, you can see that there was golf in class.
Yeah, there was a golf in class. And now let's just take a look, guys, at Manchester United and PSG. Their stories tell a different story, as it were, in the Champions League over the last 5 seasons, where you have PSG, of course, they lost in the round of 16 last time out to Real Madrid, the eventual champions. But before that, they have been to the quarterfinals 4 consecutive times.
Yeah, that's how good they are.
If you take a look at Manchester United, They haven't took part in the Champions League for the last couple of seasons. They were knocked out in the group stages 2 seasons ago. Did not take part in the Champions League 4 seasons ago. And then they lost out in the quarterfinals in 2013, 2014. So it's been patchy. And a couple of the 5 years, they haven't even participated in the Champions League. So you can tell that PSG have learned from the experiences. They've built on their pedigree, whilst the uncertainty at Manchester United means that they don't even know how to locate themselves in this competition anymore. They used to be one of the big boys, but now, there are teams, I think, who look at Manchester United and say, you know what, we don't mind drawing Manchester United. If they give us Manchester United, we'll have them.
Yeah, I think they need to be consistent at Manchester United in the Champions League, and there needs to be stability in the team. You know, they need to grow and be, you know, like grow is actually the correct word. It might have been a big team 5 years ago or 7 years ago, but they are no longer the big team in Europe. They need to regrow and be a big team in Europe again. And when you look at PSG, they've been doing that exactly. And the other time when they got knocked out of the quarterfinals, they lost to Barcelona after winning 4-0 at home. You know, we just don't know how the cards tumbled at that time, but they've learned their lesson. They are now a big fish in European football.
Right, there was another game last night. Eusebio Di Francesco felt Roma did not get what they deserved after Porto grabbed a late away goal in the first leg of their last 16 Champions League tie. Nicola Zaniolo scored twice in a 6-minute spell in the second half to put the hosts in control at the Stadio Olimpico, only for Porto to cut the deficit in half in unfortunate circumstances. Tikino Soares' ambitious shot from distance inadvertently set up substitute Adrian Lopez to score as the game finished 2-1 to Roma, leaving Di Francesco with mixed feelings.
ZiFM Stereo is untouchable.
Tonight's action in the Champions League is Ajax taking on Real Madrid, and then at Wembley it's Tottenham versus Borussia Dortmund. Tottenham continue their Champions League campaign when Borussia Dortmund visit Wembley in the last 16 first leg tonight. Danny Rose has been deemed not fit enough to start, so it looks like if centre-back Jan Vertonghen will have to play left-back. That is more than likely going to see him up against Jadon Sancho, who has been giving Bundesliga defenders nightmares all season. Let's get the thoughts of Tottenham manager Maurizio Pochettino ahead of tonight's encounter.
Experience is experience. We are going to play 1 year after, and of course only experience is not important, and I think the most important is in the level that we are going to show tomorrow, in the level that we are today, in the way that we are going to approach the game. If we are capable to be better than the opponent and deserve to win, we are going to be through. But with experience, experience is nothing if you are not better than your opponent.
With the way that Tottenham is playing and Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, this match has all the hallmarks of being a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think two sides that don't sit back, two sides that love to attack and play front football, as it were. And so this one looks like it's going to have goals in it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have goals in it. And I think Tottenham has got more experience in their ranks in terms of the players they have. Toby Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Hugo Lloris, players of that ilk. But what Borussia Dortmund have is a very young team with belief, who believe that they belong at this stage of the competition. And so this one here, it's too close to call.
Yeah, for me, I think this game is going to be exciting, like you rightly said, goals. Because we are looking at a Borussia Dortmund side with those youngsters that are going to be running the war game, I don't see Borussia Dortmund saying we are away from home and sitting back. And
that's not in their tradition.
It's not. They are going to be coming at them, and and obviously Spurs are going to respond. So we are going to have a very exciting match tonight.
Right, finally Frankie de Jong is fit to play for Ajax against Real Madrid in the Champions League last 16 first leg. Ajax boss Erik ten Hag confirmed Ajax enter the last 16 clash for the first time since the 2005-2006 season and have never progressed to a further stage. Very interesting, two great games tonight, but I think the key game for us, and the game that I think is going to have lots of goals, is going to be Tottenham Dortmund.
Tottenham Dortmund is going to be lots of fun. I hope it lives up to its billing. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't miss the show, 5 after 6. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manandi, out.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.